What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is gonna be your review for Belle Collective Season 2, Episode 2. So look, we start this episode off with Leticia. Anyway, she's still talking to her husband. And she want to know if that's his baby, right? And he was like, nah, it ain't my baby. If it was my baby, I'd be on child support. So that's not how that works. That's not how any of that works. Then he said, well, I've reached out to her over the years to have a paternity test, and she won't give me one. So, like, I guess it can't be his baby because she won't give him a paternity test? That's not how it works. But Leticia, I need you to hear what this man is saying to you. The man is not saying anything about hurting you as far as the affair and all of that. It's all about, well, I grew up without my father, and my son's not going to grow up like that. I need you back in the house. You my best friend. You know, you're my breath. Da-da-da-da-da. Like, I don't know. I guess I didn't hear what I felt like I needed to hear as it relates to him acknowledging what he did. And fixing it. I don't know. And she said, you know, listen, you know, you gonna have to show me, like, you're gonna have to show me. Like, I can't keep listening to what you're saying. I can't keep hearing your excuses. You know, I'm Missouri. It's the show me state. So you're gonna have to basically you're gonna have to win my love back, win my trust back, and prove to me that this is different and we're not gonna go back down this road again. Now listen, this is what I'm gonna say. Now, I can't tell nobody what to do in their marriage because Lord knows, listen, that ain't my ministry. But it sounds like this has been an ongoing situation in y'all marriage. This doesn't sound like his first affair. It sounds like y'all have constantly had this issue. I feel like the only reason why you are reacting the way you're reacting now is because of the possibility of a child. So I'm going to need you to do some soul searching too, ma'am. And I'm going to need you to ask yourself, why was that the breaking point? Because would you have continued to forgive him over affairs as long as he didn't have no remnants? Anyway, moving on. So then we it's Leticia and Leticia. Listen, we gotta come up with nicknames. I can't keep doing this. TT. Miss Hair Goddess, I'm gonna have to call you Hair Goddess because I can't with the Leticia, Lakeisha, I can't. Now we got an Akeisha. I can't. It's too many people. So it's too many close people. So anyway, she down at her salon again, talking about the expansion, talking about how well the business is doing. But the building that she's in, she's outgrown it. It's falling apart. The landlord don't want to fix nothing. The heater ain't working. The water ain't working right. So her lease is up in about 3 months. So she's talking about where she's going to move and what potential part of the city she wants to stay in. She said, you know, I really want to stay true to the neighborhood that basically had my back when I was starting out, the people who were my first customers, the people who were my base. But I also, you know, have to be mindful that, listen, I'm expanding. Let me tell you something, Hair Goddess. You can keep your base and still make sure that you are in a building that is going to serve your needs and be responsive and receptive to what it is that you need. With all the money you making, girl, buy the building. Buy the building. If you want to stay on that side of town and, you know, you want to just expand, baby, buy that building. Look for industrial buildings in Jackson. I promise you there's some. If nothing else, there's a plot of land you can build. Listen, look at Candy. Candy State, you know, she has built a lot of her businesses within, you know, I ain't gonna say the hood, but all of her businesses aren't on the most affluent areas of Atlanta, Georgia. You know, so you can stay, but you still have to make sure it's serving you. Now you done call Zaddy to come in there to come fix half the stuff at the spot. So I don't know. if the landlord ain't being receptive, then you definitely, that doesn't serve you. It doesn't matter what part of the city it's in, it doesn't serve you. Anyway, so then we see Marie, Miss Pearson. I'm gonna have to call you Miss Pearson, and I'm gonna have to call a golden. We gonna call her Golden Locks and Miss Pearson, because I can't do this with the Leticia, Lakeisha, Labusha. I'm not doing that. They go out to lunch with Marie, and Marie shows up with them damn blonde finger waves. I just can't. And then she had a nerve to say she was a cosmetologist. Ma'am, what? You probably don't need to be bragging about that part. Moving on. But they're meeting. So first it's Miss Pearson and Marie. And they're just kind of going over what Marie got going on right now. Just dealing with everything with the death of her of her grandson's daughter and her son, and everybody getting used to their new normal and her having to adjust to it. So she's got a lot on her plate. And so, they talked about it. And then, Pearson was talking about her husband and the situation with her husband. And Marie was like, well, listen, would it be fair to say that you've outgrown your husband? Like, it sounds like she keeps saying, I'm not that 17-year-old girl you once knew. I'm not her anymore. Like, and Marie said, she said, yeah. And Marie said, okay, well, listen, if you've outgrown him and he is no longer serving, like, it's no longer a mutual relationship, like, love don't have nothing to do with that. I mean, it does, but you know what I'm saying. Then you need to figure out your next moves. And you have to be steadfast in it. So then Tiambra shows up with her friend Akeisha. Now, Akeisha is, let me tell you what Akeisha, y'all, I'm going to try to be real nice about this situation. It's a lot of things with Akeisha. Okay? So let me, so Akeisha's husband is an ex-football player. He played in the NFL for 10 years. That's one. Akeisha comes from a long line of affluent black society in the South. Her family traces their roots back generations. And it sounds like they've been affluent and very a large influence in Jackson black culture. Her parents, her grandparents were educators, her parents were educators. And if you know anything about black society, going back to integration, teachers were like at the top of the chain, right? I mean, of course, we had doctors and lawyers and business owners, but when we start talking about people who were respected within the community, people who had a high echelon, it was definitely your educators. Now, they weren't always the richest, but they definitely were well respected, especially during a time of integration, and especially in the South. Sounds like her family went a generational college, meaning like they probably, sounds like at least for the last 2 generations, she has college grads. If her grandparents were educators, then we're talking about going back to the 1940s, 50s, right? Of college grads. Again, there's a level of influence and affluence there. She talked about, as the episode went on, she talked about having gone to brunches at the country club growing up and things like that. She was, So what I'm saying is to say, you got to hear what she's talking about, y'all. So from the very beginning, she wanted y'all to know who she was. Every time somebody said something, she had to let them know. If somebody said, yeah, girl, I rode the bus here. Oh, well, my family built the bus. Yeah, we have a long history. Yeah, we built the buses of Jackson. She cooked up with Pearson because she wants to work on Ferris Street. But not only does she want to help working on getting Ferris Street back up, but she had to let it be known that she owns land on Ferris Street and she has a standing building on Ferris Street. And so she's all about, let's get this done. Let's make it happen. She was born on Ferris Street, or her grandfather was born on Ferris Street, because that was probably where the only black hospital was, if you go back to the history that they shared with us last season. So I need y'all to hear where this is. Now, I'm going to go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Y'all ready for the elephant that's in the room? Y'all quick to call out colorism. So, Pearson decides she's going to have her brunch, and she's going to invite the ladies for an empowerment brunch. Yeah, Akeisha going to be a problem. Because, first of all, Marie liked to be the smartest person in the room. And now you got Akeisha that's coming along. And even when Marie was talking about her business and, you know, how she has the, you know, she's going to open up a new methadone clinic, she had to say, oh, well, you know, my family has this, this, and this in that county. My family, like, every time somebody says something, she got to one-up them. And you know what I didn't hear her say, and none of what she told everybody? I ain't hear her say nothing about what she did. I don't know nothing about Akeisha. I know all about Akeisha's husband. I know about Akeisha's family. I know her family was educators. I know that the auditorium at the high school named after her family. I know that they was the 3 generations of band directors at the high school. I know all of that. But you know what I don't know? I don't know nothing about Akeisha. Now, she did say something about she helped run her husband's social. She found a fancy way of saying social media, child, because that's really what it was. Talking about some along with his manager. Girl, please, you was being a wife. You wasn't running nothing. If he still had a manager, you wasn't running nothing. His manager was running it, okay? She said that they opened up restaurants, but again, I don't know nothing about you, Akeisha. I don't know nothing about you. That doesn't mean you're not accomplished. That means that you didn't talk about it. You talked about everybody else in your family, and you wanted to impress us with everybody else in your family, except for you. Moving on. So then we got to meet Marie's mama. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I need y'all to hear me when I say this. The most honest liar in the world is a crackhead. And no disrespect, Marie. I know your mama not technically a crackhead. You say she like to smoke. We call them here in D.C. We call them dippers. I know you say your mama like to smoke the marijuana laced with the cocaine. Well, here in D.C. we dip it in formaldehyde and stuff. But that's a whole nother conversation. But that's essentially what we talking about. Laced marijuana. But just for the sake of the conversation, we're just going to put everybody in one bucket. There's no more of an honest liar than a crackhead. And what I mean by that is this. A crackhead is going to lie to you about, they're going to tell you the most elaborate stories in the world to get $5, $20, $50 so they can go get high, right? They will lie about the sun shining if they can convince you to get them $20, right? They're going to come up with the most elaborate somebody stole my bike story to get $20. But when it come to everything else, oh, they honest as hell. Marie said, Mama, why you keep going over there if you know that this a bad place, you know you're going to get high? She said, 'cause I'm an addict. I said, well, I don't know what else you want your mama to say. She said, 'cause she an addict. She said, listen, I might stumble sometime, but I'm trying. Marie said, Mama, you came home, because her mother's living with her, right? Marie said, Mama, you came home a couple of weeks ago, and she knew her mama had been on a binge, right? She said her mother had been gone for 5 days. She knew she had been on a binge. Mama came home with a cut on the back of her head and a black eye, which means that she got into it with somebody. They was probably fighting over some drugs. That's probably what because his was, okay. Let me say this. I don't know these people, but I'm going to tell you what I know about drug addicts, right? Marie, you doing a good thing, but it's not going to help your mom. And you know that. But this is your heart winning out over your head. And I get it. I 100% get it. You know your mother is still struggling in her addiction. But what you have done is you have given your mother a soft landing. So your mother goes out here and she gets high. Your mother goes out here and she um um goes on her binges, but she know that she gonna come home to your house. She gonna have a nice place to sleep. She gonna be able to take a bath. She gonna be able to sleep. She gonna be able to fill her belly, and you probably put some money in her pocket, right? So when she goes on her binges and she shows up in the hood, back around these same people that she used to be running them streets with, maybe sleeping in the streets with, and she show up with clean clothes, nice clothes, money in her pocket. You know, maybe you done gave your mom a car. I don't know if you have or not. But it's a small town. They know. So they probably got into it with your mama because they probably was like, we know you got money. Or we know you had something. And even if your mama was out of money and out of drugs, they didn't believe her because they know she living good now. They know she done got saved out of the hood. And that's probably what had happened down to the crack house, child. Moving on. But it wasn't funny. It was funny the way she said it, but I'm not laughing at the fact that her mom is still struggling in her addiction. Let me be clear. I am not, because it's not funny and I've dealt with it in my family. But the way her mama said, because I'm an addict, all I could think of was all the people I've ever been around that are addicts. They are honest in they shit. They be like, listen, I was getting high. Why you ain't show up for my dance recital? Mama was getting high. Now they like I said, now they gonna lie to you about how why they need $20. Now that's gonna be the big lie. Anyway, child. So after that, so we head on down to the women's empowerment brunch. Listen, Marissa said, I ain't really feeling this. I got a lot on my plate. I'm dealing with my mama. I'm dealing with my ex-husband. I'm dealing with my son. I'm dealing with my grandson. I got a lot going on. I'm trying to open up this new business, and it's just a lot on me. But I'm here because I'm here to support my friend. Okay, I'm here because my friend asked me to be here. But let's be clear, I don't want to be here. I ain't really feeling it, and I'm just not in the mood today. Everybody shows up. Now, Miss Akeisha is complaining. She said her plates were dirty. She said the tablecloths were tacky. She said that she expected a room full of women and it wasn't nobody there. Child, she was wanting a lot. Now, we had this conversation last year about these brunches, so I ain't about to rehash all of that. But let's suffice to say, we done already went down this yellow brick road about Pearson and these empowerment brunches that be 10 people in the room. I ain't about to have that conversation. We done been there and done that. But, and as far as the plate being dirty and stuff, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's okay for your plate to be dirty. It's not. But there's also a way that you complain without making people feel some kind of way, without making people feel bad about it. Like, there's also a way that you can complain. But anyway, child, I'm done with Miss Akeisha for now. So, Leticia, she's doing her, I'm so glad everybody's here. We're here to be empowerment. We're here to be women, heroes roar, yada, yada, yada. And she wants to play this game. I'm going to pull the name out of the cup and everybody say something empowering about the woman, the person whose name is on the slip. She said, I know it's corny, but... So here's what I'm going to say about that. First of all, yes, it is corny and it's really not productive. If you pull together a group of boss bitches, then we already know everybody at the table is a boss bitch. We're going to say the same thing about everybody. You a bad bitch. You a beautiful. You're a queen. You're an entrepreneur. You doing a damn thing. Like, that's why you're here. Okay? The one thing I will agree with Akeisha about is, listen, it's all well and good that we all here to empower ourselves, but we got to put some action behind these words. This is what this should be. This should be a action brunch. And listen, I ain't mad at her. If you've been trying to get Fair Street off the ground for the last year and a half, and here you are with somebody who literally owns land on the street, who literally owns a building on the street and is wanting to bring a business, and she done already told you she owns a restaurant up in New York, ma'am, then as obnoxious as she is, that's your cornerstone. That's where it starts, and you build out from there. At the reunion, you said people were contacting you from all over the world who are interested in trying to revitalize Fair Street. She's your cornerstone. She can be obnoxious as she want to be, but she's already 20 steps past where y'all were last year. She literally already owns land on that property. Y'all was trying to buy land last year. So not only can she start her business at that building that she already owns, Let's go out and look at the rest of the property that she owns. Is it run down? Can it be rehabbed? Do we have to go to the city council? Remember, it was a whole thing about it being a landmark last year. What are the steps that we need to take? Let's put together what you did last year when you met with the city council and you met with the mayor, and let's put together what I know as far as my family is concerned in owning this land, and let's sit here and let's come up with a freaking plan. Now, that's the one thing I did agree with that the woman said. But it don't matter, because when it got around to Marie said, I plead the fifth. Now, I'm going to say this. I know a lot of people going to come down on Marie, but you could tell something wasn't right with Marie. Like, you could tell, well, she got upset when Leticia got there, but she was already in the mood before Leticia even got there, because everybody kept asking her, you okay, you okay? And then when Leticia got there, well, golden goddess, hair goddess, whatever, it was a whole nother conversation. She honestly, truly feels like Miss Golden Goddess was working in cahoots with another blogger down to the Jacksonville to have her businesses shut down. She truly believes that. Whether it's true or not ain't my business. Perception is reality. And her perception is that you did it, and so that is her reality. So her thing is, I don't want to be around her. I don't want to pretend like we all good. I don't want to fake like we all good. And at a certain point, she just stood up and was like, you know what? I got to go. I can't be fake, and I got to go. Now, in my opinion, she said it low enough that she was talking to her friend, and she left. She was removing herself from a situation where she knew it wasn't good for her. Y'all should have just let her fucking go. But of course, one, it's a TV show. And two, y'all can't let nothing go. So she went in the bathroom, she crying. Essie get up and go check on her. Essie comes back to say goodbye, and they want to sit there and have a whole conversation about what's wrong with Marie. Why she do that? Why she do that? That was rude. Why would she do that? That was girl, let her go. Call her later. She clearly is upset. She came to support you. She tried to sit through it. She couldn't. She removed herself from the situation. And the reason why I feel that way is because that's something I would do. I will go somewhere to try to support somebody or whatever, and if I ain't feeling it, and I will leave, just let me go. I'll call you tomorrow. If it's really that serious and it's really that deep, I'll give you a call. But just let me go. And I just feel like it was a moment. So anyway, Pearson goes in there, and her and Marie are screaming at each other to the point where the rest of the group can hear them in that empty-ass ballroom, because, of course, ain't nobody in the ballroom but the 10 of them. So the voices are going to carry from the hallway, child. They in the bathroom. Child, she went in the men's bathroom anyway. So then her friends go to check on her, and they're like, we good. Well, I can't believe you did this to me. You're embarrassing me. Why you not, like, Belle, yeah, Buddha, yeah. And the whole time, Akeisha was like, I ain't never been nowhere like this before. I ain't doing this. This is too much. I cannot, like, and I don't blame her. In that moment with Akeisha, I felt you, Akeisha. Now, I ain't feel a whole lot you was doing, saying, child, but I felt that. So then they go to get Miss Golden Goddess, because they convinced her to talk to Miss Golden Goddess. Now listen, again, wrong place, wrong time, and she wasn't in the right headspace for that conversation. She believes that woman tried to tear her business down. She said she lost clients, she lost patients, she lost standing in the community. Again, her perception is her reality. Doesn't mean it's true. But until she finds a way to process that wasn't the time or the place for them to have this conversation. And that's where the episode ended, child. We're going to have to pick this up next week, because they're going to finish arguing. But anyway, let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.